As the Civil War progressed, there were more and more former slaves, even free people who were trying to flee the slave state and flee the battles that were going on, even in Kentucky. And they were coming over the Ohio River one way or another, either on the ferries or with skiffs. They were coming over into the communities along the Indiana side. New Albany, at one point late in the war, was just absolutely flooded with these people who were searching for a better life and freedom. And I think that is really when Second Presbyterian Church was extremely active in helping fugitive slaves. They needed a place to sleep. They could have slept either in the Undercroft or on the Sunday school level, or upstairs on the benches. We don't know. We don't have any. That is not part of the oral tradition, and it's tempting to try to fill that in, but we don't have that information. We just know that they reached out with food and clothing. How do we know this exactly? There's some other ways we know this. We know that during the war, late in the war, there were contraband, that is African American soldiers who were fighting for the Union. Second Presbyterian Church started what they called a Sabbath Sunday school. But guess what? In the Sunday school on Sunday mornings, they were teaching reading, writing to these soldiers, to the black soldiers. We have an article that was published in the Presbyterian Herald that tells us that. And I believe that teaching reading and writing and Bible lessons to these people translated pretty quickly into helping them with food and clothing, whatever their needs were. I believe that these anti-slavery people really helped out at that time with these people, and that might be where part of the oral tradition stems from. And people have asked the question, how did this church, in a sea of anti-black bias and hostility, get away with this, helping these people? Well, I believe that the way that happened was because of the color of their skin. They were protected by their race. They were protected by the fact that they were leaders in the community. They were shop owners and merchants in town. Nunamaker had a bookstore. So I think they were protected. There's another good reason why Second Presbyterian people were getting by with helping freedom seekers. The community would have called it Underground Railroad activity. And if so, if they would have put that spin on it, then they would have told the people at Second Presbyterian Church they were breaking the law. However, it was looked on as Christian benevolency, and the Second Presbyterian Church members, in their reaching out to the black community and to freedom seekers, were actually actively carrying out their faith and helping make the community better by their activity. And I think that is why the anti-black bias, pro-slavery people in the community couldn't touch them. It wasn't just because of their race that they were protected because they were white and because they were leaders in the community, but it was also because what they were doing with freedom seekers and helping them was put in the category of Christian benevolency.